Hi, I'm going to give you a reading from Daphne and the Marmalade Cow. This is from chapter 6. You need to know that Daphne lives on a sort of experimental science farm. The science farmer is called Dr Nestecrease and her dog is called Greta. You'll see. The dairy shed was an old brick building in the corner of the farmyard. After his father's passing, Dr Nestecrease had emptied the basement by pulling out the ice cream machine, fridges and freezers to make room for his experiments. When Daphne had become old enough to be useful, he had put them all in a small barn to create a dairy shed in which she could concoct all sorts of milkshakes for the market. Dr Nestecrease was waiting for her in there. His long nose was poking over the top of a clipboard, clipped to which was the list of today's jobs. Daphne started getting out the equipment and ingredients she would need to make milkshakes. Greta curled herself up in a corner and went to sleep. The science farmer looked up at Daphne through his glasses. "You're late again," he said quietly. Daphne apologised, even though she knew she wasn't actually late at all. A couple of years ago, on the day the clocks went back, Dr Nestecrease had been so excited by the whole idea of gaining an extra hour that he decided he would put the clocks back every Sunday morning to give himself an extra hour of experimenting every week. The problem was, of course, that nobody else did this, and he was basically living in his own time zone. He never had any idea what the actual time was, if indeed there was one. Dr Nestecrease was always doing these sorts of experiments, although Daphne was never really sure if he ever even learned anything from the results, or what the actual point was, if indeed there was one. "Your mother told me to ask you about the cow tower," said Daphne brightly. She had promised herself she would save this for an emergency, but she just couldn't help herself. She and Greta had spent the whole time walking from the farmhouse to the dairy shed, wondering what on earth a cow tower might be. Dr Nestecrease didn't seem very happy about being reminded of the cow tower. "I was only young," he snipped. "I didn't really know anything about anything then, so I don't understand why Mother has to keep on going on about it." Daphne put on her cute face and asked, Can you tell me what happened, please?" Dr Nestecrease put his clipboard down on top of one of the freezers and sighed, almost allowing a smile to escape from his lips. "I was trying to find a way to make the farm more productive. You know the south field, where we keep the cows at the moment? Well, that field has enough space for 12 cows. Any more than that and they would be too squashed. I thought it would be a good idea if we could keep more than 12 cows on one field. Maybe there was a way to have more than one floor, like a block of flats. A house could only have 5 or 6 people living in it at the most, but if you buy a block of flats on the same space and build upwards, you might make homes for 40 or 50 people, or more. I built an experimental block of flats for cows. A cow tower. 5 floors of cowshed, all linked together by stairs. I thought I had found a way to get 5 times as many cows in one field." Daphne was fascinated by the cow tower. "Did it work?" she gasped. "No, not really," frowned Dr Nestecrease. "It turns out that it's the amount of grass that limits the number of cows you can have on one field, not the actual space itself. And also, more worryingly, it turned out that whereas cows are really good at climbing upstairs, they are terrible at going downstairs. It's something to do with their knees. They just can't go downstairs. As part of the experiment, I put our 12 cows into the cow tower and they all plodded up the stairs to the top floor. And then what happened? Nothing at all. They were all stuck at the top of the tower, mooing and complaining and pooing and mooing. It was awful. I was the laughing stock of the town." And there you go. That's a little extract from Daphne and the Marmalade Cow, which you can get in all good bookshops. If you get it from my website, though, I'll sign it for you with your name and my autograph, which is like my name, but in a weird scribble language.